Daniel Summers was born on January 14, 1983. This is Daniel at the age of 4. A few years after this picture was taken, in the 7th grade, Daniel met Angel Roth, who sat behind him in history class. Angel says that Daniel was the brightest kid in school and the sweetest. Daniel and Angel were both 18 when they got married. Daniel enlisted in the California Army National Guard just days after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. He was looking for direction and a career, says Daniel's mother. After 9/11, he really wanted to do something to make the world better. He was such a beautiful person, always hugging. Over the course of 2 tours in Iraq, Daniel conducted over 400 combat missions. For most of the time, he was embedded with the Iraqi police. After returning from Iraq in 2007, Daniel started a band called Lisa Savage. Daniel was the lead singer, guitarist, and songwriter. In an interview with the local Phoenix newspaper, Daniel describes his wartime experiences this way. We were literally rolling around, lacing people up with the machine gun, blasting the killer's hot fuss. Fighting, he claimed, was like this crystallized perspective where everything is important in a Satra kind of way. Every day you're creating yourself. And if I hadn't got in a very permanent and harsh way, I probably wouldn't be able to write music at all. In 2010, Daniel wrote, produced, and directed a music video titled Fire Exiting. In a 2010 interview, Daniel tells us why he chose the title. Daniel, speaking of a time when he sought help at a Veterans Administration hospital, said that I was back in uniform, back in this place that was awful, and I completely lost my mind. There was a sign over a door that said Fire Exiting. It was on the 2nd floor, but the stairs had long ago given way, so it was like this 30-foot drop. They sent me home with a letter that said I was a danger to myself and others. When Daniel did come home, he laid down in the daze and began to talk. The lyrics of the song, Fire Exiting, were Daniel's ramblings, which another band member had written down. This music video, Fire Exiting, is constructed from over 2,000 still frames, which were spliced together.
I
The words spray painted on the rear wall read, "The only escape from war is death." Now, speaking from the touchstone of life experience, I've come to understand that through effort and experience, through trial and error, we create ourselves over the course of a lifetime. Fire exiting is one of the too many heartbreaking examples of how our most cherished creation, our identity, can be shattered by experience. And this song and this video, though it is an act of beautiful creation, can also be actually a scream. I offer this perspective because we now know that the video Fire Exiting was Daniel's last will and testament. On June 10th, 2010, just a few weeks after posting this video on YouTube, Daniel took a handgun and walked from his home to a street several blocks away. He placed the barrel to his temple and he pulled the trigger. Daniel was 30. He left his wife Angel and his parents. Daniel also left the world a note. In this letter, we can hear Daniel telling us about how his most cherished creation, his identity, had been shattered by his experiences, and how a new and malevolent identity, a new answer to the question of I am, had tricked him into believing that this version of himself was the real person that he had become. I am sorry. I am not getting better. I am not going to get better. I am too trapped in war to be at peace. I am too damaged to be at war. I am a wasteland. I am filled with visions of incredible horror. I am unceasing depression. I am crippling anxiety. I am nothing. I am abandoned. I am a liability to those who stick it out, and thus deserve better. I am better off dead. And now, with that self no longer existing, we can once again imagine what it would be like to live with a new self, within a new skin. I am no longer constantly depressed. I am no longer constantly afraid. I am no longer constantly worried. I am free. The Mindful Writing Project doesn't have anything to give, at least not in the conventional sense. Our only hope is to offer a means to uncover, to discover the truth of who you already are. We could say that by learning and practicing a skill of writing that is based on contemplative traditions such as mindfulness, we are better able to realize that obscured by our minds, our compulsive, often repetitive, and mostly negative thinking, a state which has tragically become the normal human condition, there is the real you. And this you is separate from any conditioning. This truer you is a deep inner peace and well-being.